Hey YouTube, Marlena. Yeah, I've got a few PMs and comments, and I just want to address them on contracts. Now, there's a few things I might have not basically addressed, more in detail, but I will address some of them. Somebody asked me, well, what about a deposit or a retainer on the contract? So I said, that basically what I do is it's a percentage. So I ask for 20% of whatever the total amount is. So if you're charging $2,000, so it would be, I believe that would be, is it 400? I think that's what the 20% would be that. So that's what your retainer is. I also let them know it's non-refundable. It's a non-refundable deposit. You can't get it back. I will give you credit for it. In other words, if something happens, God forbid, somebody passes away in your family or something terrible happens, that you cannot possibly go through with that reception or that wedding or whatever, I will give them credit for another day. If they reschedule and I'm available, I will reschedule that. So somebody asked that, and that was really a good question. Another one was, well, how about do you charge after, like, say you go 4 hours and they want to hire you? And I said, well, I leave my contracts open. In other words, I'm not going anywhere. That's their day. I'm not going to say adios. I got another gig and gotta go. So I would expect that most DJs would not just like double book themselves to the point where we got to get out of here. I'm sorry, that's it. So you don't want to do that. So don't double book yourself unless you have enough time, and you'll be able to handle both of them. A lot of times I have double booked myself, and that's okay, just as long as you have time and it's not going to conflict with the other one. My advice would be, if it's a local gig and it's maybe less than 3 miles away, then that's okay. But some DJs, I mean, don't kill yourself getting to your gigs. So I just want to let you know. Also, I have them understand what I'm sorry, babble. I don't do that at weddings. Basically, I do my DJ voice, ladies and gentlemen. I do have a DJ voice, by the way. I have what they call a void date. It's or a termination date on my contract. In other words, it gives them time to send in that contract. But I usually say less than a week. I mean, unless you want to, you can actually fax. Some people want it instantly. So some people will do a PFD on, just to book them right away. In other words, it is best to book them as soon as possible. I mean, especially a wedding couple. That way they've kicked the tires, but they want you. So book them as soon as you can, because the sooner the better you'll have that gig. So I just also want the bride and groom to know, if they're watching this video, it's also good to book the DJ, especially the one you want, as soon as possible. Although a lot of couples will plan this about a year in advance, I also give them another option, a good option too. And I say, I know that you're not just going to pay it in one chunk, and it's hard to do that, so you got to plan it within your budget. So a lot of times I say, well, if you're going to book me a year from now and you want to do the payments per month, let's say pay me like $175 a month if you want, till that day comes. And you guys are trying to figure out how much it is. Well, I do charge that, but not in all cases, depending on what's required. But I just want to let you know that that's a payment plan that you can offer them besides Visa, MasterCard. Also, if you get there and they still have a balance, which I usually don't have balances unless it's a corporate event. Those guys, especially at corporate events, they will sign a contract, but a lot of times they'll send their check in the mail later, at a later date, and that's fine. Just as long as it's a well-known corporate event. I mean, it's not just a mom and pop, business down the street. A lot of times it's best to have them do the same thing with all the other contracts that you have. Make sure they send you that deposit. Make sure that you have it and make sure that you know, there's no questions. Because once you get there, you don't really have to worry about the money. You know, just perform and do your gig and make it fun. You know, do the DJ thing. You know, just get out there. But anyway, I just want to let you know that somebody also asked me on my. It wasn't a contract related. It was about my event planner, and on the event planner, I do put down the coordinator's name, or I had mentioned, I believe, a contact person. Well, actually, the contact person doesn't necessarily mean that it's the banquet manager. I'm not saying that, you know, but sometimes a couple goes, no, they're. What I said about the contact person is that way they can let you in the door. In other words, who's going to be at the door to let you in? Is it going to be locked? You know, you need to know who that contact person is that's going to let you in that door if it's inside, or if there's somebody there. I mean, a lot of times, if you don't, you may just end up being locked out of that building until they get there, and you know, you'll be in a rush to set up. So understand that that's kind of what it says. Also, it tells me if there's going to be electricity. A lot of DJs don't ask that question. I don't know, and sometimes a lot of couples don't really realize the electricity situation, and it could be none, or it could be terrible, or it could be just great. You know, so it just depends on if you haven't done that at the venue or before. I would check where all the outlets are and what amperage they are, because that's kind of important too. I think that's really it. On the reception format, they just asked me kind of, I would say this, on that one paper I just put the name of the bride and groom, the bride's name, of course, name of the bride's parents, the name of the groom's parents, best man, maid of honor, reception, serve reception, the toast, name of the toast persons or person. You know, you got a lot of stuff here. I mean, I can cover all of it, but I'm just going to do briefly. Grace, that's optional. Buffet, is it going to be a buffet? Is it going to be dinner? First dance, other special dances, of course, you know those. There's going to be a money dance or appreciation dance, throwing of the bouquet, or is there going to be a garter belt? Garter belt. I'm sorry, garter throw, not garter belt. Anyway, start of dance music and request, departure wedding couple. You know, thank you I usually do first, you know, because it's a good time. Other special events are on here too. In other words, depending on the culture, you'll find that everything is going to be different. So depending on the faith as well, it'll be different. So you really have to take that in consideration. But anyway, I just want to say, hopefully you've got some information, and hopefully my happy pills are working today, so because I'm pretty happy. Anyway, thank you and God bless, and thank you for watching my channel and stuff, and hopefully you got something out of it. If you want to PM me again or ask some more questions, feel free to do so. I appreciate also the camaraderie we have, and you know, the sharing of information, which is that's what it's really all about for me. So anyway, thank you very much, and God bless.